Hey everyone, this is Paige from Pages of Pictures. I'm going to share with you now some examples of the golden spiral, and these images come from Jake Garn Photography. I will include the link to his website at the end of this post. He actually says most of these were happy accidents when he got to working with the golden spiral. So we'll start here with this first image. This is a very obvious representation of the spiral. As you can see, her arm fits neatly within the curvature. And it's also still a really good representation because your eye is immediately drawn to the center right here where her apple is in the tongue, and it follows it all the way out, again through her arm and to the back of her head. And it's just a great example. Even the curvature of the apple lines up right here, her arm, particularly right here with her ponytail, all this curve is nice. It's just a really good example and a great one to look at if you're really trying to apply this to your own work, which helped us a great deal. Another great example of his was the one on the right. This really helped me in particular since I like to do a lot of portraiture sort of pictures. And again, you can see where your eye is immediately drawn in this image, like the other one, to the mask here, and it follows it all the way out and around to the back of the head and down to the shoulder. This is a good example of how this also applies to what we were talking about earlier in this post with the curve following natural elements. In this case, the natural element would be the curve of her head fits right within the circle. And even right here, the curve with the eye fits as well. So just a great example, and by thinking of little things like this, it can really help a photographer just have a more impact on their photo, just like he did with this one. Now this bottom example is also a great example. Even though the spiral doesn't quite line up like the others do, it's still good because this line that's featured right here does play a big part. And since the subject is situated right on that line, your eye is still going to where this spiral kind of starts, and it follows the image again all the way out. What also makes this pretty good is this main car that's right here still fits within the spiral, even though it's not like along the curve how this image had the head. It's still a really good example. And again, just when you think of elements like this, it can help your photography. Even if you're not thinking in terms of curves, you can still think in terms of even these lines, placing the subject not quite in the center of the photo along this line, but still making sure your photo shows exactly where you want your viewer to look first. These are just some of the examples we found. We'll now go on to how we apply this to our own photography.